Hi everyone, today let's solve the Leetcode question called letter case permutation. So given string S, we can transform every letter individually to be either the lowercase or uppercase and to create another string. And we want to return a list of all possible strings we could create using this method. Now let's check example 1 here. So you see example 1, we have A, 1B, 2, right? So let's write it in the right side. And you see for A, we can have two variations. One is still this lowercase a, and the other is to use the uppercase a. And for this b, we can either use the lowercase b, right, and or to use the uppercase b. So you see here we have two combinations, and here we have two combinations. If we multiply 2 by 2, we get 4 different combinations, and this is what we get in this output array. Okay, I think the problem description is quite straightforward. Next thing to solve, I think how to solve this problem. So for this kind of all possible strings problem, I would prefer the backtracking approach. And let me show you how to work with backtracking method in this example. So let's look at example 1 here and make a drawing on the right side. So for example 1 of string is A1B2, right? And the first thing for this kind of backtracking approach is to traverse a pointer towards string, right? So the pointer will start at here. If we start at this position, we find this A can either be this A or this A, right? So we can split the string and divide into two possibilities. One is to get this A and one to get this A, right? Okay. Now we want to move the pointer to the next letter. So you see the next letter 1 here. And 1, you see we can only have one possibility is 1, right? So write 1 here and 1 here. And then we move the pointer to the next position, B. Okay, and let's use a different color. Okay, and you see for this B, we have two variations, right? Because we can either use B in lowercase or B in uppercase. So this means we have to further split these two. So split this one, we get A1B in lowercase and A1B in uppercase. And if we split this one, we have A1B in lowercase and no A1B in uppercase also. Okay, now finally we want to move the pointer to the next position. You see we move to 2, and 2 we can only have one variation, this 2, right? So add 2 here, add 2 here, add 2 here, and 2 here. Okay, now I traversed the pointer through the entire string. We have finished our search, right? So the only thing we need to do is to return this element. So these elements will be included in our result array. And you see this will be our result array, which contains 4 strings, right? Okay, now finish the graphical explanation. Let's start in the coding part. Okay, so first let me write our general framework and then helper function. Okay, so for this kind of backtracking problem, we should initialize the path which store the temp result and also the result array which store the final result. And after that, let's call the helper function pass this string as the path and the result. And finally, return the result to the main function is done. We now finish the main function. Next thing to think about how to write helper function. For the help function, we first need to pass all the parameters inherited from the main function. And next thing to consider, okay, if we have reached the end of string, this means we have to append the path to result, right? So if we have this, and the other case to consider is that we want to solve the alpha problem. So if alpha, we should consider both the upper and lower. Finally, we consider number. Okay, now finish coding comments. Let's write code itself. So if we have the not s, this means the string has been sliced all the way to the end. Then we append our path to result and want to return none, right? To break out this function. And if find okay s0, which means the leading element in the string is alpha, then we have to consider both lowercase and uppercase. So call the helper function, pass the rest of the string, and this part should be added by the current letter S0 in lowercase and also in uppercase. And then we have the result. Okay, just copy paste here and change this lower to upper. Otherwise, if it's not alpha, this means number, so we don't need to consider the lower and uppercase. The only thing we want to do is call the helper function. Okay, pass in the rest of string, and this part should add by S0, the current element, and pass the result. Okay, now let's submit the code to see it works. Okay, I think the runtime memory usage is quite efficient for this solution, right? And if you find this video helpful, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.